All right, looks like we're live. Pouring silver without a furnace. I figured we would use the cups today. I've had some people ask about how they can get started, and I think this is a great way to do it. Wait for somebody to get in here. All right, it's up on my screen. All right, just waiting for some people to show up and get going having some fun. Man, I cleaned my shed out last night, and I cleaned it so good I couldn't find anything. I was trying to find my cup. I have a bigger one, but it's kind of too big. JK, what's going on? I cleaned my shed last night, got everything looking nice, put everything into place, and then realized, where the hell is my cup? I wanted to go today live and try to use the cup. Because a lot of people have asked how they can get started and do they need a furnace, and I don't think you need a furnace, obviously. So we'll pour some stuff today using the torch. So you guys can see how the metal works. I did need to move a few more things around, but Conscious Stacker, what's going on? So look, this is something I was thinking about doing at some point. In the sand, I want to make a copy of this. I've always wanted to have like a chunky, like 2-ounce buffalo. And I don't want to do that with silver, obviously. So I have this, and I have that. And I think some super glue, gluing this onto the bottom, that way I can press it down in the sand and pull it back out. I want to try that, I think. I think that would be a pretty cool way to do it. And I've made these with, the magnet won't stick to that, but these little Marine Corps buttons I was making. And I can stick it down in there and pull it out because it's a magnet. But with that, it doesn't work. So, yeah, I was thinking we would get the torches going today and try to pour a little bit with the torches. Besides this little jacked up extra we had the other day, I want to melt that back down so you can see what it looks like to melt around down too and not just shot. But I want to show you guys some of the molds I have that I bought, because maybe we'll use one of those instead of doing like the CC round. Maybe we'll do something a little bit different, although I do want to make more CC rounds at some point. I even cleaned this up, right? I was going through all of my molds and I realized that I bought something that I totally forgot about. Look at that bad boy. Totally forgot that I even had this. And this came with it. It was a little 2-piece. So I got to do something big at some point. I want to melt down some aluminum. I have a bunch of tabs that I've been saving. And so probably half of or 3/4 of a milk jug full. So I might just melt it down into bar form. That way when I go to use it, I can have a couple big bars and little bars. But these were the doubles that I got. This is one that you can actually like make it yourself. It's just a block. So I might have to find somebody that can do that and make my own thing. This was something cool that I never used. I wanted to use it. I've tried to use it, but it doesn't fill in all the way. I don't know if I needed to just really heat it up real hot and then close it, but then you're kind of messing with fire. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's cool, but I've never been able to get it to fill in. It'll go down and then it'll start filling up in here, and the bottom didn't fill out. So definitely need to figure that out at some point. But yeah, we got the skull. That's pretty normal. It's a 2-ounce. This is a 2-ounce. across, that's a 1 ounce. That's not an easy one too. I think that is a 3 ounce coffin. And then we got the 2 ounce and the 1 ounce for the rounds. I got this one not too long ago. It's crazy though because it has that. You see that little crack right there? I'm almost afraid to use it, but I have used it just to see. I'd used copper in it, but I don't know, man. Just have to make sure it's heated up. And we got some of the smaller pieces. These are pretty normal. That one, that's probably one of my smaller ones. Like if I was going to do gold, I'd have to do it in that. This one's pretty cool. It's flat, but this one I like. I like this bar. I did a CC bar with this. It was 1.79. I think I can get 2 ounces in it. And these little 2 ounce loaves. Those are cool. And that's some of the bigger ones. And then I have this, which is a little weird. I don't know why I bought this. It's kind of a weird thing. It's almost like a pyramid, but flatter on the top. You know, like it's tapered all the way down. I've done a few pieces in copper just to see what it looked like, and it kind of looks dumb, really, so I never used it. But yeah, that's all the molds that I bought before I got into the sand casting, just so I could learn how the metal works. So if you're starting out, a great way to start is to get some of this stuff and get a cup with the torch and just go to town. I think these two are the ones that you can get together a lot of times. And it comes in a set, I believe. That might have been with the furnace, though. I don't remember. But yeah, I can't wait to fill up something with these. I might do a big old copper bar like that, because I got a pretty decent amount of copper. I got some things I need to break down still, too, to get the copper out of it. But anyway. Thank you guys for joining me. Make it a 3 ounce buff. Sick. You sponsored by DeWalt? No, I used to be. Not anymore. DeWalt has given me a lot of free tools. JK says simple molds are still appealing. Yeah, some of them are pretty cool. I really like the skull, but it's hard. Silver never seems to fill out right. Copper usually looks pretty good, but for some reason, silver just does not like to hit all the places in it. It's a tough one. You wouldn't think it'd be hard, but it is. Drill a bigger hole. What are we talking about? Sketch. What's placer gold? I've heard of Nordic gold, where it's like brass and copper and silver, I think. It's a few different types of things. I got a bunch of brass too, and I was thinking about doing that. I might make, although they did already come in bars about this size, I was thinking about doing some brass pieces at some point. I don't know what, but you know when you get some of the bigger stuff, it just looks cool in brass. I think that 50 cal would look cool in brass. Once I get that bigger flask done, I'm gonna I might pour this in brass. So yeah, I guess we'll start with like an ounce. I think I'm gonna do an ounce. round. We'll do this. And you can see, what it's like to melt down an ounce. I have no idea how I had these in here now. They were fitting so perfect too. I was like, damn, I finally got it to sit in there, right? And then I poured it all out. Yeah, this was some of those first ones I did, some of the freebies I was giving out back in the day, a couple years back. These two, when I was learning. I don't think I used this one a whole lot. They say that this is supposed to be an ounce and a half ounce. It is not an ounce and a half ounce. Now that is an ounce. That is not. It's. I don't know if they do math differently over in China, but it's not right. None of them are. That's why whenever you get one of these in, you always got to practice a little bit with it. Because it seems like they're all a little bit different. Man, my throat hurts so bad, guys. I woke up today and my throat was on fire. I was like, man, this is going to suck going live trying to talk the whole time, but the show must go on. But I'm thinking, I want to get busy. It's probably not going to be too long of a live today. I want to be done by 4:30. My daughter gets on. Carol, hello. Thanks for stopping in. I'm going to get going with the torches today in a cup. That way you guys can see how the metal works when it's not in a furnace. You can't really tell what's going on in the furnace. The thing I will say about the cups is that if you're in a shed and you got a light in there and it's the summertime and all these mosquito eaters decided they wanted to come in, they will swoop down the whole time you're doing it and get burnt up and fall down into your silver. So I've had that happen a couple times. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll try to get them all out, or I'll take the torch around the room and torch them before they get into the silver, and I feel bad doing that, but I like to keep mosquito eaters around because they eat the mosquitoes, and I have so many mosquitoes around here, it's ridiculous. Like, they will carry you off, and I'm allergic to it, so it burns, it itches, it's not a good time getting eaten by a mosquito for me. My daughter, she gets eaten by a mosquito and she can't even tell. Like, man, I needed that gene. Scuba Steve, what's going on? Appreciate you stopping in. So yeah, I'm gonna get the torches going in a minute, and that way you can see how that works. I know you were interested in that, and I've had a couple people ask how much it costs to get started. And if you're going the furnace route, it's definitely going to be at least $300 to get a furnace plus whatever else you need, But I think you can get a gas furnace right now for like $240. And they might have come down, I don't know. You can actually make a furnace yourself. It's really not that hard to make a furnace. But yeah, the cheapest way, and the way I think most people should learn, that way you kind of get a grasp on the metal and how long it takes to melt. And with a torch, obviously it's different with a furnace, but it's just a good way to learn, to feel how it works, because you can't just get it hot and pour it. You got to kind of work with it a little bit, and you'll see when we go out there. But yeah, man, I cleaned the shed up last night, and I'm walking around for an hour trying to find the cup because I couldn't find what I did with it. I cleaned it up so nice that I couldn't find anything. So yeah, we can actually, if you want, we can melt this down and pour it into that so it looks better. Because this was that leftover. It didn't look all that great. Or we can just do some shot. A lot of people will melt rounds down too. I don't have a round with me, but I can maybe grab one. 1.02. That's usually about the minimum I'll put in if I'm trying to get something that's a 1 ounce, because you always lose a little bit. You'll always lose a point. But also it likes to stick to the cup sometimes. So you'll pour it and you'll have a little bit that's stuck somewhere. That's why you'll see I'm always trying to keep it moving and keep it all in one big pile and pour it fast and have the place that I'm about to pour it from be hot too. It's a little bit chilly outside, but yeah, I wish I could do it in here. And I was thinking it'd be great to get like a fan that I could just sit here and do it, but I want to hook the shed up at some point. Sean 47, hello, thanks for joining. That's why my house is so messy. I know where everything is, he says. Yes, I hear that. But I like everything to be in a place. You know, I still know where everything is. Like, I get what you're saying. But I like everything to look neat. Especially when I'm working. I want, like, right now you can't tell because I got molds everywhere. But, you know, like I got all my stuff. All this is here, ready to go. You know, extras in there, stuff in there. Separated my clays. Obviously, you would have to do that anyway, but you know what I mean. I just like to know where I need to find it and have a bunch of things that go together. You know what I mean? But I hear you. Controlled chaos, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how my shed is right now. But the problem is there's so much chaos, I can't find shit. Like I have a shed that's like a mini. It's like a there's mini houses that people are building everywhere. It's like a two-story shed with additions on both sides of it. 8 by 16, but then it goes out both ways with the attic in the top or in the middle part. But the back room, there's so much stuff just jammed in there. I have to pull everything out to even be able to get to it. So at some point, I might be making a dump run. And if it's something I haven't used in the last 5 years or something I know I'm never going to need, it might either get tossed or try to sell it. I've been selling stuff on OfferUp. Actually, somebody's trying to buy a symbol from me right now. Need to get back to them on that, I guess. I don't know if he ever got back to me, but it's fun, man. But like sometimes people are weird and people want to flake out. Or you show up and they'll offer you less money. It's like, dude, that's not what we talked about. You should have asked that before. I've had people do that. Or not have change. All I got is $200 bills. Well, looks like you got to go into that store real quick. I met somebody at a Home Depot. So you had to go into the Home Depot and get change because I didn't bring any change with me. Yeah, it's definitely sketchy sometimes, but I've also met some really good people on it, so I guess it's kind of hit or miss. What I can't stand is when I type everything in and tell everybody all about it. I tell them, I went online, I tried to find the cheapest price, and I made it a little bit cheaper than that to make sure that I'm giving you guys the best deal possible. And I'll say that. And they'll still be like, well, can you do it for like $50 less than that? Like, that aggravates me so bad. Like, it's literally the cheapest you can find it anywhere. I'm hooking you up. Especially these symbols. Custom A symbols are not cheap. And the whole set, I think, was like $1,500. And I'm selling one symbol for 200. And they tried to offer me like 150. I had a dude offer me $100 for it. I was like, hell no. But I'm never going to use them at the same time, but I'm not going to lose money like that. Not from playing them once. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm rambling. Watch out, buddy. You're going to have to move. I don't want you in and out either. Why don't you go in the room? Come on. Come on, bud. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Come on. Stay there. Good boy. Good boy. Go to sleep. Take a nap. Take the load off Ovi. Of course, the cat's still going to be weird. Well, damn. Nobody likes OfferUp. Yeah, I got the door open. I don't want to be back and forth and have him back and forth being on my nerves. Yeah, Steve, I'm with you. I've done that a few times too. That's why I'll go in and I'll make sure, like I could do it that way, or just tell them, look, this is the cheapest price. You can't find it any cheaper. Don't even ask. But they still do. But whatever. You don't know if you don't try. You know, I'm not like aggravated about it, I guess, but it's just like this is what I'm trying to get. You know. And I have given people good deals too. I have taken it down for a few people. Sean, I'm like totally an influencer. And you never know, Sean. They might. Yeah, I'm pretty close to Washington D.C. and Annapolis, and you know, it's like there's definitely some weirdos around here. Baltimore, definitely some weirdos in this part of town. I've had pretty good luck though. Man, you know what's really funny? I'll tell you a story. This is weird to me. I sold a symbol to a guy because I have a bunch of symbols. I've been collecting them for years, and I always keep them that way. I can always change it out, try something different if I want a different sound. But I've found what I like, and I'm just pretty much sticking to it. So I'm trying to get rid of all this stuff. I have too much music equipment. So, so I sold this one to this guy, and this was a while ago. It's like a year ago. I sell it to him, and we were talking in the parking lot for hours just about this and that. I mean, I think it was like an hour and a half we sat and just talked. And the dude looked so familiar to me, but you know, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know his name or anything. Well, he ends up giving me his phone number because I told him I might have some other stuff coming up and I can just text you because he's just a really good dude, right? And I wouldn't suggest doing that. But I put his name in my phone and his number is already in there. So I've already got this guy's number from the past, and I have no idea who this dude is. It was so weird to me. I never did get back to him either to say, man, who are you? Because I'm pretty sure that this number was already in my phone. Maybe it was somebody I used to work with. Or was that like one of the other companies that I worked for? I don't know. It's weird. Like their customers kind of thing. He looks familiar, but that name just, I didn't know the name. Maybe he had an alias. All right, let me get something set up and we'll go out and start melting some sheet. Get that girl. Cats are always trying to escape. You guys want to melt shot or do you want to melt this? Oh no, story time. There he goes again. Talking about shit we don't want to hear about. Just melt something. Just make fire. Yeah, this this was the leftover. I think we'll do this. Maybe we'll do this and then we'll do another one so you can see the shot. A couple of extras in there. That was damn near enough. So it's 1.06. I try to do like 1.05 just to make sure that it's going to be over an ounce. So that's what I'm doing with that. And actually, what just happened? I put those on in with it. That way, got another little one in here. That way it'll be definitely an ounce. That's probably too much. 0.6 is probably too much. That's all right. We'll do it like this. 0.04. Good girl. She didn't run out. This cat is a little escape artist. Like my little torch things I made. Let me get everything in the picture here. Probably gonna need to go up. Bear with me. You guys can see pretty good, right? This is probably off. It's not too bad. It's probably not the same there. Need to lift these up just a little bit. This is oh my damn nerves. We're not. If it's all lopsided, then it's going to be and the top isn't gonna, it'll look lopsided. So you always want to try to make it as flat as you can. That's pretty close. Almost want to get one more. Pretty good. There's a piece of silver out on the table. I can't see what you're looking at. There you go. Slatlock, stop. I appreciate you stopping in. Sorry if I missed anybody else. Trying to show what it's like when you use the torch and not the furnace. So we're going to pour a couple little 1 ounce rounds. Should be about ready. What you always want to do is heat that up because you don't want any explosions. They have broken apart before. Not on me, but I've heard people talk about it, so I don't want that to happen. Man, I feel like this is still going to be a little bit. The torch stands are made out of pallet wood. So I want you to be able to see, maybe we might have to do it from this side. Bear with me. So I want you to see when I'm pouring it into that. All things silver, hello? You put them in your coin case? Awesome. No problem. We can. I like to have it on the front here, so it's always hot wherever you're going to pour it from. And then let's get going here. Actually, you know what? I need to clean that a little bit off. What happens is these things will just start to flake a little bit. So you always want to make sure you get that off. A lot of times I'll take sandpaper on it just to make sure I got everything off. Definitely something you want to do because that'll get down into the silver. Why are you outside? The damn cat is outside. What are you doing there? Holy crap. I told you. She's an escape artist. See, I'll just take, where are we at here? Where are we at? Sandpaper, and just go around it and try to get all that crap off. Nothing falls down into the silver. I was thinking about taking these and cutting them back a little bit so that it can't hang over. Have just a little bit of a lip so it'll grab, but not so it hangs over. I think I'm gonna do that. The next time you see these, they might not even have this. Sorry guys, y'all were like, man, we're about to do it, and then, no. You saw something fell down into the cup, and I did not want to leave it like that. A lot of shit will burn off though, don't get me wrong, but. And like all this silver that's in there, that'll usually pop back down to the bottom. Let's see, we already got a couple pieces. They fall right off. And And the thing about this too is I think I might have went a little overboard when I glazed it, because you can see right here, it's like a lot right there. And that's why you want to swish it, because if you have that on top of it, if you get it to the edge and you swish it, it'll stick to it again and it'll get off of the silver that you're about to pour, which will probably happen. That's why I left it like this, because I think that that's going to happen, and then you'll be able to see. Wow, that didn't take long to get hot. Jeez. Watch the moisture leave. You don't want to pour hot metal in there like that. It might be time for a new gas, actually. Yeah. Okay. I already fucked up. I forgot to put this back on. Ay, ay, ay. I never said I was an expert. This is a learning process for me too. You are really dumb. Oh man. Now, you can actually use these too, where you could just pick it up like that. That'll actually work too. And then you would just pour it. But I like this a little bit better. I feel like this would be better if it was up a little bit higher though. Let me switch this thing around. That way you can see good. Booyah! And I think everything came out. There's a little bit that was already there. Get some cool ripples out of it. That's why I kept the torch on it, just to get some ripples. And then oops, I forgot to get a paper towel. We're going to start making bets. How many things in one live stream can Cap forget? That's what we ended up with. It's kind of cool. It's like the center is like different than the rest of it. That's different. Probably because I left the torch sitting on the middle of it. It won't do that if you don't leave the torch on it, but just trying to show you guys what'll happen if you do. And then I'll read the comments in a minute. This doesn't like the light, but it's already hot and then cold. Come on. What is this doing? bit stuck. I still made some ripples even without it. The torch went. See this one, it kept getting the borax in it. That's why I kept trying to, get, whenever you see that glowing hot red on top, I was trying to get it off of it because it'll stick to the side, and once it sticks to the side, it won't be in the metal. But every now and again, a little bit still sticks, but that's what happens. But you can clean it up. See what they weigh. Seven Stacks, hello. Thanks for joining. Later, Conscious. I don't know how far. All Things Silver, hello. Thanks for joining. Oh, I already said something about the magnet. Okay. I think I got everybody. And if you're lurking, hello. So what I do when this happens is I'll take that wire wheel to it and clean it. And then you can always put it back into the tumbler if you want to shine it back up again, or leave it like that dull look. But yeah, that's what tends to happen sometimes when you use a cup. This one, though, didn't get any. It's pretty cool. It's almost like it's different in that little center spot. Like a little dimple. Let's see if they still weigh an ounce. Both of them should be 1.02, 1.04. Cool. So those are good enough to be 1 ounce rounds. Let's see what I can do with this. Is I'll take a wire wheel to it. This might have been that dirty one. So I like it because you can make a more exact amount. Trying to do that with a furnace and how big those crucibles are, it's kind of a pain in the butt getting exactly an ounce. But then you got to deal with some of the stuff that'll stick on top, which aggravates the crap out of me, but what are you going to do? I think I might have just used too much borax when I did it that last time. The borax is what you do. You heat it up and get it like glowing hot, and then sprinkle borax all over it, and then that'll make it so it has like a glaze on it, so that the metal doesn't stick to it. But I don't know if you can use too much and then it comes off, or what. But I do know that if you get it on top, you can get it off of the metal if you swirl it around, which happened on that first one. Might have just been a little more unlucky on this one. Yeah, this was the one. So I marked these with that little black mark right there. That way I know which one I've used for doing this before. So when I use a new one, that makes it look a little shiny. Sometimes when you use the ones from before, I try to stick with it because it'll keep it like it looks kind of dark. Like the whole thing kind of looks dark. And then I'll take a clean one to it after I'm done getting all the crap off. So this one is just used for getting the crap off. And the other ones are used for cleaning to make it look good again. It would be nice to have like 3 Dremels that are cordless, and that way everything's ready to go. And I like that dull look. The way I did the rounds, they weren't shiny. I could have ran them through the tumbler. But I like that dull look, kind of like this. But then you can run it through the tumbler and it'll make it look even shinier than that. The whole thing will shine right up. Maybe next week I'll have these going for a while in the tumbler, so I can take them out when I go live, and then you can see what the stuff looks like in a tumbler. For those of you that don't know, tumbler, it's something that you put your silver in, and you put Shine Bright is what I use. Put Shine Bright with it. It's like a blue solution that cleans. And what's inside of the tumbler is, a lot of times people try to clean up rocks and stuff like that. But what's inside of this that I use is little steel shot. And the little steel shot just cleans it all up. I have one that I use for copper and one I use for silver so that I don't contaminate anything. Although I don't think that that really matters in a tumbler, but I still do it that way. And it's just a little round. It's just a little round thing. It's about that big. And it goes into a machine. Once you tighten it up, you stick it on its side, put it down, and it has 2 little things that roll, so the whole thing rolls, for lack of better words. You know, the thing with the thing, and then you put it on that thing, just like that. You'll see though. I'll make a video about it, and we'll probably talk about it in a live stream here soon. But yeah, that's it. That's how you pour with a torch. Pretty simple. This one, man, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it just like it is. I think this looks really cool. But yeah, if you do get that crap on it, it can be cleaned off. But sometimes it does leave a mark in it. Like you can see there's a little bit of a line right there. It happens. Scuba Steve, how much can you pour at one time in a cup? I wouldn't do more than 3 ounces, but you can get a cup like this. Let me show you the difference. Oh man, I feel like I'm getting sick, guys. So that's the one I just used. You can get one like this, and I think that there's one about in the middle too. I like the little one. It's easier to kind of have everything hot. But it's all about your torch. Like, I'm using matte gas. If you have one of those, like, what is it? Oxygen saline, is that right? Those torches that get real hot, then you could probably do 10 ounces if you want to. I would imagine. I don't know, I've never tried, but those torches, there's different torches, right? Different nozzles even. I think you can get like what I have, I think they make something that gets even hotter than what I have. I guess it's how much it's putting out at one time. You gotta be careful you don't have too much coming out, because then it'll start blowing stuff around. You got like little fine pieces, because sometimes I'll melt down the dust, and you don't want to blow that everywhere. But that doesn't take long to melt down either. So really you could just put that in use a regular torch, and then once it melts up enough, use a hotter one. That's just my opinions. Whew, my throat is killing me. I think I'm going to get off here in a couple minutes, and next time I'll do something else. I think this looks pretty good. I think that turned out awesome. I'm going to stamp the back fine silver, and then I don't know what to do with this. I tried it, but I don't think this is anything anybody's going to want to buy. It was like 3 ounces. It needs to be cleaned up, really. I could run this in a tumbler. That would probably look better. The thing is with a tumbler, if you run it too long in a tumbler, you start to lose detail. Like if I put this in a tumbler, I wouldn't want to leave it in for like 24 hours, because everything will start to kind of round off a little bit. Like you might still see the detail there, but it's gonna like round off a little bit. They make a double barrel matte gas torch. That'd be cool. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm using, is 2 matte gases. You can also do 1 matte gas and 1 propane. I did that for a little while. It does take longer. It does take longer, but it's a cheaper route to go. I was doing that for a while because the matte gas got really expensive for a while. It seems like it came back down a little bit, but I was paying an ungodly amount at one point. Sorry guys, my throat is like killing me. I feel like I'm about to lose my voice. So you can do 2 matte gases, or 1 matte gas, 1 propane, or you can do both propane, but it's gonna take forever. Like I wouldn't want to do less than 1 propane, 1 matte gas. And really, you can do it with 1 matte gas. You don't have to have 2. It just takes longer. I just try to speed the process up by doing it with 2. But really, you could do it with 1. And you'll just keep moving it around like I was doing that, the one that I had in my hand. You just keep moving it around like that, and start working the metal a little bit to make sure you're getting everything, because it'll look like it's melted, but then it won't be all the way through and underneath. So you got to make sure that you get it all the way. Well, yeah, it's not much to it. It's pretty easy. Just always be cautious of bugs that are flying around, because man, it doesn't take but a second for one to fly in, kill itself, and kamikaze your silver. It's happened many times. Something about mosquito eaters. I guess they see the light and they're like, "Ooh, what's this?" Oh. But anyway, I want to try to get going a little bit earlier. I was trying to do it today earlier, but it just didn't work out that way. So hopefully on Thursday we'll be starting a little bit earlier than 3. I want to try to get going by 2, but every time I say that, something happens. I can't get going by 2. But yeah. I was thinking it was Tuesday for some reason. But yeah, next week. Hello, Herman. How are you doing? Actually about to get off here. You can go back and watch. I was using the torch to melt some silver down. We made a couple little 1 ounce rounds. I was trying to show that process in case anybody wants to get into pouring, but they don't want to spend, $300 to $500 to get started. You can start for about $100. All you really need, and I'll even show you the ones that are cheap. This comes as like a set, I believe, with this in one of one of these, but smaller, the cup, and you'll get one of those with it. I'm pretty sure that was a set that I got at one point. and then you get a torch, buy some map gas to go with it. You can buy the map gas with the head, with the torch part. You can get all of it together at Home Depot or wherever. A good one is going to cost like $70. So that's the most expensive thing, but you can buy cheaper ones. But those cups are relatively inexpensive. It's probably around $100. I think for like $30 you can get the cup with a little something to pour into, and you can find the torches for less than $70, but that's with the gas. I think they do make another one that's around 50. But if I was gonna do it and it's something that you feel like you're really gonna want to continue, I would get the expensive one. Get the one that you know is good, that's hot. Some of them have, like one of these I have has a control on it, so I can turn it up or down. That's what I would get, because no matter what in life, you might need a torch. You know what I mean? So I would just get the most expensive one. That's what I did with that, and it is cool that you can control it. But yeah, it's not much to it. You just gotta pay attention to what's going on when you get the little stuff. The burnt borax will get on there and they'll start burning. That's why you see that glowing red piece. You can kind of swish that off and just keep moving it around, and eventually it'll stick to the cup again. And that's really it, man. It's just learning the metal, how it works, and keep playing with it till it's completely melted. And you'll know, you can tell, because when you're swishing it around and you see that there's a little bit of like a heavier spot, or sometimes it'll stick on the bottom so it's not melted enough to swish it yet. Sometimes you'll swish it and then it'll be hot enough where it was melted, but not quite hot enough to stay like that without the torch being on it, and it'll stick just a little bit to the edge. Like you'll see just like a little bit of a line right here from where it was. Now that it's down over here, you'll see there was a little bit that got stuck there. And that means it's pretty much ready. You just gotta go a little bit more. Keep the torch on it for a little bit longer and keep moving it around. You'll be ready to go. No problem, Steve. I'll probably do it again at some point. I like the furnace because it's fast and gets the job done quick. But when I'm doing the rounds, this is how I do it, because I want to make sure. It's hard to take that big ass crucible with those big tongs and pour it only to an ounce, and it's like, because you could have 10 ounces in it, right? And then just pour an ounce out, pour an ounce out. That's just, and then unless you have 10 molds lined up, how are you going to just keep doing it? So you got to do it. You got to flip the thing off, do it again. It's almost like you need two people to really be able to pump them out like that, or have the molds lined up. But if you want to make sure it's an ounce, like I've tried a couple times where I put an ounce in the cup, and then when I weigh it, it's 0.99, and I'm like, dang it, I can't let that go out like that. I can't call it a 1 ounce if it's 0.99. So I always put like 1.4, 1.5 in there, and you can see they still held it, but when it sticks to the side, then you got to start all over again. So I'd rather have it a little bit heavy and know that it's going to work this time, as opposed to having it right on and then it possibly sticking to the cup. Because it happens every now and again. You'll get a little bit, especially down here in the divot. When it's like down in here, I always get just a little bit, it will be stuck right there. That's why I try to heat it up. But yeah, I guess we'll get off here. My daughter will be home in about a minute, so I want to get off here and say hello to her. And then every Tuesday and Thursday we'll be pouring something, or at least talking about pours, hanging out. Eventually I like to get to a place where I can get down into the shed and not have it be blurry. So I'm thinking I might try to do a live stream and just start in the shed and just see what happens. And if it doesn't go blurry, then I know that I can at least start there. Because when I take it there from here, it just, I don't know what happens. It goes blurry and never goes back. So, but yeah, and I'm shooting for the 5th. I want to do another auction on the 5th, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's it, guys. Just wanted to show you how everything works. And yeah, it sounds like she's home. I can hear the pitter patter of little doggy feet. So I want to say hello to her, and thanks everybody for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys. All the support means the world to me. We're at 1,500 subscribers now, and that's awesome. So We've gained about 100 since I've been back. I really appreciate that. And watch time has been great too. So maybe we'll get to a point where we can make a little bit of money off the channel and be able to put it back into the channel. That's really the ultimate goal. But we will get there. It's just, how long is it going to take? I have the utmost confidence in myself and you guys. We're going to make something amazing happen here. So anyway, I want to get off here. Thank you to everybody. So like I always say, appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.